YouTube! Welcome to Football Happy Zone, where we'll kick off the phone and score a big laugh. I'm your host. I'm about to dribble through the latest in football with smiles. Sadly, I'm just going to say this is the end of the road for Nigeria. Why did I say so? Because we are not even going to be in the top 5 of the best loser in Africa, not to talk of representing the continent and the world. The highest point we can get to right now is 17 points, which is also enough for us to win the league, which is also enough for us to win the group if South Africa have to lose the next 2 games, and thereby going back to our calculator as usual, So I don't want to be optimistic right now. I don't want to be optimistic. I'm just trying to be realistic. And realistically speaking, we are not going to qualify in the group. We can't go ahead of South Africa. The opportunities we had, we drew them. We can't go ahead of South Africa. Then going back to ending as the best loser, it's still not going to be possible because we have countries that are already in 15 points, 16 points, 14 points, and I think 16 points, yes. And these people still have 2 or 3 games left for them. So tell me, how can we top the group when all we need now is to play 2 games, acquire 6 points to make it 17. Now, out of those best losers, just need 2 points. Some need 3 points. Some need just 1 point, and they'll be ahead of Nigeria. And even if, let's say, the whole thing now works in our favor, and then we ended up representing Africa, we'll have to still go through a longer route where we'll have to play best losers in other continents to qualify. Is that what the so-called giant of Africa is supposed to be doing? Is that what is demanded of us? We're a giant of Africa. We're supposed to represent Africa. And how? With ease. Not through all that route, not through all that struggle and suffering. And let's get this clear. Let's get this clear. Few people need to be blamed for this. And number 1 on my list is the NFF. NFF needs to raise this standard. NFF needs to step up their game. Enough of all this corruption, enough of all these sentiments, enough of all these politics. Let's face reality. Football in Nigeria is not just a game. Football in Nigeria means a whole lot. And for Nigeria not to qualify for the second time consecutively in the World Cup speaks a lot. Speaks a lot on how far down we are going and how football is deteriorating by the day in Nigeria. This is supposed to bring honor. This is supposed to bring harmony. This is supposed to bring unity. Football is more than a game. It's a way of life. Football is our culture, and it should be treated as one. NFF needs to step up and become one. NFF needs to stop all this politics, thinking about the money and all that. If you know you are corrupt-minded, please leave the NFF and let the people that believe in the tradition of football in Nigeria take the mantle and push us to where we're supposed to be. It's so disheartening to see that in my lifetime, I'm not going to watch the World Cup with Nigeria representing them consecutively. That is 8 years. In 8 years, Nigeria is not representing Africa. And why is so? Why is that? Why can they explain to us why this is? NFF need to do more. Enough of all this politics, and we need to focus, because that is why sponsors are afraid. International sponsors are afraid of involving themselves into this. We need to look for a way. We need to look for a way to bring back the glory days. And it has to start from our home. It has to start from our home. We need to raise up this league back. We need to bring back this league and let our country represent Africa, even in the Champions League and in the Club World Cup. It is so sad that Nigeria is going down every day. And number 2, Eric, you had a game plan last game that you played. Injury disrupted it, thereby helping you to bring in Arokodare, and Arokodare did well. Why on earth will you start Dessau today? Why should you start Dessau today? We all know Lookman has not been in game. One, we know the issue he has with his club, and you can see it on the pitch. Why will you give him a 90-minute game? Is football about titles? Football is about a team. And if one of your team member is not playing to the in the rhythm of the team, he needs to step down, regardless of his status. But today, Eric failed. You failed Nigerians. The defense was also in the last game. You still went ahead to bring troops. I'm not saying it's a bad replacement, but I'm saying why disrupt what was working for you? This is not a friendly game. This is a World Cup qualifier. You should have a structured team. You should have a team. You stick to your first 11. You use the first 11 for the last game and you won. Why not stick to it? And when you're going towards the attack where you feel like it was toothless, you should not be changing that way. No. We didn't, even our changes did not show that we needed a win. We did not show that we need this win. We have nothing to prove. If we lose today, or we win, or we draw, there is no difference. So all we just needed was a win, and we needed that push. And today the coach failed us. The coach failed us. And thirdly, I'm just going to give kudos to South Africa because I feel like, yeah, they solved the problem. They solved their problem from the roots. We all knew when South Africa when they started this whole Super Sports, South African League, and they started to infuse money into the league, thereby raising the standard of their league. Now they are benefiting from it. Most of their players are playing in their league, and you can see the way they're playing with harmony, with rhythm, and even embedding the whole South African culture into the football, which is what is lacking in Nigeria. Most of our players are foreign players. Most of them were not even born in Nigeria to even understand what it takes to have that winning mentality, to represent your country. I'm not blaming them. No, don't get me wrong. I'm not blaming them because it takes a lot for you to even say, okay, you want to play for Nigeria in the first place. But understanding the culture is another thing. Because if you understand that this is your tradition, this is your culture to always represent Nigeria in the biggest stage, then you will give in not only 100, you give in your 1000%, which was what was lacking today. We're toothless and nobody's willing to take that extra fault except Kevin Bassey. And I think Troops also did because when he already scored the own goal, he wanted to make amends. So he had to give in that extra. But the likes of Lookman, Simon, no idea. Their set piece crosses, poor, going forward, not realistic. I don't know. But a big shout out to South Africa. I wish them all the best. Moving forward, I expect Nigeria to just try to acquire every possible point so we don't even start thinking. And not only just that, you have to win convincingly. You have to win well. You have to win well. So, big shout out to Nigeria, big shout out to South Africa, big shout out to CAF, and I'm out.